Отворете съзнанието си, за да почерпите от мъдростта и опита на успешни хора, иноватори, предприемачи, творци и мотиватори, които да ви покажат една различна гледна точка по пътя към вашия собствен успех. Има само едно време, което е от съществено значение, и това време е сега.
Telus International е иноватор, който създава и предоставя следващото поколение дигитални решения на редица световни брандове в областта на обслужването на клиенти. С над 3500 служители в София и Пловдив, компанията предлага възможност за дистанционна работа, гъвкаво работно време и проекти в сферата на бързо развиващите се технологии, видеоигрите, социалните мрежи, финансови услуги и финтек, туризъм и много други. Даваме там, където живеем, е част от философията на компанията. Всяка година общественият борд на Telus International Europe в България дарява 100 000 щатски долара на неправителствени организации за реализиране на социално значими проекти. Дни на подкрепа е доброволческата инициатива, в която вземат участие стотици служители в подкрепа на различни благородни каузи. Кариерно развитие, широк спектър от обучение и над 40 социални придобивки са само част от предложението на Telus International. Разбери повече и кандидатствай на telusbg.com. Интервютата за работа се извършват изцяло дистанционно и от комфорта на дома ти. Успех! Понякога обратната връзка е буквално под носа ни. Ето какво ми написа Яница, която е основният отговорник за уебсайта на Свръхчовекът. Здравей, Георги! Искам да ти споделя моята обратна връзка за Storytel и по-специално за детските аудиокниги. Майка съм на 2 момчета, на 4 и на 8 години. Откакто ползвам услугата, всяка вечер им пускам аудиокнижка преди сън. Те очакват този момент с нетърпение и вече обожават аудиокнигите. Могат да прекарат цял час в слушане, завити под топлата завивка, което от своя страна улеснява и самия процес на заспиване. Искам да ти благодаря сърдечно на теб и на Storytel, защото благодарение на вас децата ми неусетно се пренасят света на книгите. Заедно открихме един нов и различен вариант за усвояване на безценни знания и емоции. Ако искаш да разбереш кои са книгите, които Яница и синовете й препоръчват, заповядай на www.thesuperhumanpodcast.net/kids. Здравейте, вие слушате и гледате Свръхчовека с Георги Ненов. Днес имам изключителното удоволствие да ви представя моят приятел Денис Шефър. Този разговор ще бъде проведен на английски, тъй като естествено не всички могат да говорят толкова добре български, колкото Макс Гурвиц, но все пак има и други хора, освен него, които са българи по избора, живеят в България и правят нещата, които обичат. Dennis, thank you very much for accepting my invitation, for coming on the podcast. We've known each other for probably around 10 years now.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, and I will never forget the day that we met. It was actually before A State of Trance 650 in Sofia.
Yeah.
You were here with 2 of your friends and we went to Oshipka, the restaurant. We had dinner together. We laughed a lot, and then this whole 8th of March madness party happened in Renarmets, where you were the last DJ.
Yeah, the last
set,
DJ. Yeah.
But we all remained on the dance floor and danced our feet off. I would never forget this, that you were basically the first DJ that made this connection with me and my friends back then. And then later on you came here, you produced one of your albums in Sofia. You basically you did a album review party in Sofia for one of your albums. What was it? Like the party that you did a couple of years
in 2015.
later?
Yeah, true. That was the album release party.
Yeah, it was your previous album, and now you're
Yes.
releasing your newest album. It's called Find the Sunrise.
Yeah.
Later on, you're going to introduce us
Yeah.
to it. But the interesting part here is that for probably a year now, you've been living in Sofia.
Not a year, since August.
Okay,
So
half a
almost
year.
half a year, yeah.
All right. You're German. You're born in Germany and lived in Berlin. You're an accountant.
I mean, I studied business, so
Okay.
I can do a lot of things with that. Yeah.
Awesome. So I'm going to go back in time because here in the podcast we always start with what's the story behind becoming a world-renowned DJ. Armin plays you a lot on the A State of Trance. You had like very, very like well-known tracks that probably people never heard of. I mean, I never heard of their names, but they were your tracks that were played. Also, you were here. I think I've been to like 3 parties of yours here, and you've always said that you loved the vibe here, the people. You enjoyed it. So let's go back in time. Where were you born, and how did you end up in Berlin? What did you study?
Oh, okay. So I was born in Essen, which is it's in the western part of Germany. And I was born in 1985, so I'm 35 years old. I moved to Berlin like in 2010 so I was studying business and I was looking for an internship opportunity. And I had the opportunity to do an internship at Universal Music, which was great because it kind of combined my music side and the business studies. So that's when I moved there, and then I fell in love with the city, decided to stay. And then after 10 years, I wanted a change. And then I was kind of thinking of opportunities and possibilities within Europe, what was possible in 2020. And I had a call with my manager, which is also a funny story that we can come back to later. And she said, why don't you choose Sofia? And I said, yeah, actually, that's a good idea. I really like Sofia. I have a few people I know already. And then it was first meant to be just for a few weeks. And then I extended the stay. And then I said, I really like it here. So let me see how long I want to stay here. But for now, it's indefinitely.
All right. Yeah. Because when we met last summer, it was at the end of the summer, you were telling me that you moved here mainly to make the process of creating your new album easier, to work with the people that are helping you produce your album here.
Exactly. True.
So your manager is Violetta?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Violetta is a friend of mine.
It comes back to the story you started. You told in the beginning, because that's when I first met her as well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I can probably share about this story, but let's first go back in time and see how did you end up becoming a DJ. So your name is Dennis Shefър. Yeah. Shefър in German means shepherd.
Exactly.
So which is a nice coincidence that ended up your like artistic DJ name. Yeah. So tell me, were you interested in music before going to Berlin? What were you doing, and how did you choose your profession? How did you decide to? Was the music your hobby? How did things end up?
So I think I started producing music in 2004, but just really as a hobby. It was like
what kind of music?
Electronic music, but it was a little bit more commercial stuff, like hard trance, hands up stuff back then. But it was really like my uncle. He was playing around with like an amateur software, and I was really impressed by what he did. So I also got the software, played around with it a little bit, and then I got an interest for it. And then after around 9 or 10 months playing around with this and getting some really good feedback, I looked into more professional software, took it from there. Whenever I do something, I'm quite eager, like to improve and stuff. And so I improved. At one point, I sent demos to labels. First it was smaller labels, and then the bigger ones got some interest as well. So the first release of Dennis Shefър was in 2007. So 3 years after I started playing around with the amateur software.
Who were the DJs that were inspiring you back then?
Well, a lot. Tiesto. Tiesto was a big inspiration. And then like from even further back, like end of the 90s, Paul van Dyk, ATB, this kind of sound. They were always big inspirations.
And also Germans.
Yeah, also Germans, true.
Yeah. Do you know how I ended up in trance music? I told this story personally to the person that actually made me stick to trance music. I loved trance music. Before I met Neda, it was the soundtrack of my life. I was with my cousin during most of the summers outside Sofia. near Veliko Tърново, and he had downloaded from somewhere the Reflections album of Paul van Dyk. And I remember playing Crush, the first track of the album. I remember that the album was 72 minutes and 27 seconds. I will never forget this because I've probably played this album as much as I've played Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavored Water by Limp Bizkit and the Hybrid Theory of Linkin Park. So these three albums are the things that I've played most in my life. I even have a CD of Reflections, like Pirate one, in my car. But in Bulgaria, this was the only way to get such music. No one was getting like registered CDs back in the day. This was probably, I don't know, 2001, 2, something like this. So I was in 8th, 9th grade. I'm 1 year younger than you. And I will never forget listening to Crush again and again and again and again. This is like the no vocal version. Later on, he created a vocal version that was playing on the radio, but this is probably one of the tracks that I put recently. Armin van Buuren created 1,000 top tracks. In my personal 1,000 tracks, this will be in top 3 for sure.
Wow. Okay.
So Crush made me stick to trance. But Paul van Dyk and Tiesto had huge influence on me and my friends. First party that I've been to is Tiesto 2005 in Festivalna here in Sofia. It was just few days before my graduation from my high school.
Nice.
And we basically ripped the dance floor off. We were dancing until 8 in the morning. And I've had such a great memories, always like great parties, enjoying always with my friends. And I'm really happy that you're like the first trans person to come here and just share his own like superhuman story, because it's not an easy task and easy thing to be a professional DJ. You're like semi-professional. You work part-time on business ventures and all right. So you started sending your own tracks to the labels, and what happened then?
Well, I mean, some got signed, and then in 2007, my second release already got a lot of attention. There was a guy called Martin Roth back then who did a remix of my track A Tribute to Life. And that one got played by so many people, above and beyond as well. And Ferry Corsten, he played the original version, so not the Martin Roth remix, which was really cool for me. And yeah, it was played all around the world on festivals, blah, blah, blah. But it still didn't get Armin van Buuren's support. That took another 2 years until I got my first Armin play. But still, that was my first big success. And then, things took off from there. Like another few successful records until then in 2011, I got my big hit, Fallen Angel.
All right. So in the meantime, you were working or you were doing this full time?
No, I was studying. Business. And then 2009, the first DJ bookings came in, and then it really became more of a part-time job already, because I made good amount of money with that already, but still was studying. Then in 2010, I moved to Berlin, tried to finish my studies from there. So it was a very, very busy period. But yeah, that's how it was back then. All
right. So what happened in 2010? I'll tell you what happened in my life in 2010. Armin came for the first time in Bulgaria.
Nice.
And this is the party when I met Violeta.
Ah, okay, cool.
So it was actually after the party, because I went there, really enjoyed. This is probably the best party of my life. 13th of August 2010 on Cacao Beach. He played. I don't know what's it called when the DJ plays and then goes backstage and the crowd calls him back, like applauding him. What's in English, the term for it?
Oh, I'm not sure.
What's in German?
Zugabe.
Okay, in Bulgarian it's a bis, it's called, when you call someone to... He came back 3 times.
Oh, wow.
And he was playing from 1 a.m. to something like 7:30 in the morning. So he played more than 6 hours. And then the end, he played like on a Metropolis Day, the remix. And he came to sign some autographs. And it was... Nice. Like the sun was already shining, and his manager was like, "Come on, we're missing the flight," but he didn't care. He played. This was probably the best party of my life. I ended up like lying on the sand and like crying because it was really, really good. It was so emotional.
Nice.
So you see, like the sun is rising on the like behind you, and then Armin is still playing. I was like, "This is not happening." They, like usually DJs plays for like 2 hours, 3 hours, and then they leave. but he played for 6 hours and a half, and I even have like a picture of me taking of my clock. But then I decided to go to Utrecht for Armin only, and then I met Violetta, and then later on Violetta and Lily and some of the other friends started after A State of Trance 650, an organization that was called Trance Emotion.
Yep.
So what happened in your life in 2010? So I met your manager then.
Yeah. I won an award in my hometown Essen for like being the best new artist. So there was also like a prize with it that I that really helped me doing my first artist album. So it was a good amount of money that I reinvested into, getting good musicians on board, good singers for the album. And if I didn't have that money back then, I would have never created my biggest track because I wouldn't have had the money for that.
Yeah. What do you attribute your success to?
Eagerness, a little bit of luck as well. But yeah, not giving up and like really working hard for it. Yeah, I would say.
I'm just asking because sometimes people think that this is pure luck that you got chosen, but there's a concept about the unseen hours.
You can force your luck. You can force your luck. I mean, it is always luck, but you can give yourself more opportunities to have more chances of luck, basically. So
totally agree. So you produced your first your album.
Yeah, and so I sent it. I actually sent it to 2 other labels first, and they didn't want it. And then I sent it to High Contrast Recordings, which was a really supportive label back then for my music. And they really totally believed in the music and in me, which is for me the most important thing. Like, I have to have a label that is releasing my music that really believes in me. Because it's like a positive vicious circle. Like, they believe in you, you make better music because of that. And then you send them the music, they love it, and they do a better job. So it's like really like upwards spiral. Yeah. So that's super important. And back then that was the right label for that. And then, yeah, it paid off. I mean, my biggest track, Fallen Angel, got released. And then my career just took off.
What happened after Fallen Angel was released?
Well, I mean, way more interest from the public for my music. So that's the biggest thing, right? I mean, yes, I enjoy creating music, but I also want to give joy to other people with that music, right? So if I can reach more people with my music, of course, that's better. So from that point on, my reach was way, way further. So I got more attention for my music, and I made more people happy with that, and that made me happy. So that's basically it, in short.
Yeah. So in between 2010, when you released the album, and 2013, when the invitation to join A State of Trance in Sophia 650. How did you end up on A State of Trance 650? Which was let's just say to the listeners that are not aware, I'm not sure how many of the people are not aware of this, but A State of Trance, every 50 episodes, Armin is celebrating it ends up like the 1 year after each, like it's 1 year from now. He makes huge parties around the world, and this time I think he had 8.
It could be, I'm not sure.
And then one of them was in Sofia. I remember listening to the episode when it was playing, and then he said, okay, the next destination of the State of Trance is Sofia, and we were basically like crying out, like shouting, Krasi, like one of my friends were like shouting, and we were on Skype at that time. It was like, did you hear that? Such a great emotion.
Cool.
And then we ended up creating a huge flag, A State of Trance, that was played on top of everyone's hands, so the DJs and Armin can see it.
Yeah.
And how did you end up signed for this and asked to participate?
So I played. First of all, I released another few good records after Fallen Angels, so there was still, a good hype around my name, and people loved what I released. And then I also played on a smaller stage at the A State of Trance the year before in Den Bosch.
Yeah.
And I think I did really well there. So I was still on their radar. I had a booking agent who was talking to the company, Alda events regularly and trying to pitch my name to them and stuff. So, and then obviously they decided to book me again for the next years for Sofia. And I never played here before. So I didn't have any expectations at all, but I was completely blown away. So I really loved it.
It was a huge lineup. It was Armin, Ferry Corsten, Dash Berlin, Mine and Shane at that time. They were playing together. And you and
Ruben, I think.
Ruben? Yeah, Ruben. Yeah. Ruben has a set too. And I remember that we met you guys at the airport. It was like we made a... we met everyone at the airport. Yeah. And I think V and Lily, or like some of, like, I was not involved in it, but wrote to every one of you to ask you to come for like dinner with us before the party. And you had your friends with you, Enrico.
Yeah.
I remember Enrico and the other, I don't remember the name of your other friend. Yeah. But when you came to Oshipka and then we had dinner together, we had pictures, you were signing flyers and stuff. I remember that one of your friends forgot his jacket and you called me and told me to, like, I went back to the restaurant, took the jacket and bring it to the hotel. And then I meet Ferry Corsten in the lobby of the hotel.
That's cool.
And it was amazing because, I mean, we've seen you.
Then instant karma. It was
an instant karma, yeah.
Yeah.
So you
got huge. Rewarded immediately for being nice.
How did you end up, you were at the end of the set, but it was like everyone, like, probably more than half of the people were still in the room. Yeah. And usually when Armin plays, like, people are leaving after that. People are leaving. So how did it feel for you?
It was amazing. It was really cool.
Was it the largest event that you've played at?
No, actually not. I've played one bigger event in Germany called May Day, which is a really huge event. I did the opening there, and it was also a cool story. Like, they opened the door, and in like less than 5 minutes, 10,000 people were in front of me. And I saw everyone coming in, like, from the door. Super cool. But anyway, A State of Trance, was massive. And I didn't expect so many people to still stay until the end. And it was not only until my set started, no, until the end of my set. Like, people didn't get enough, like they wanted more and more and more. Really cool. Like, it was an amazing feeling. And I fell in love with, Bulgaria and the people here and the fans that night, for sure.
So did this influence in a way that you made an album release here in Sofia? You basically made the first party of your newest album, the album that comes afterwards.
Like, yeah, for sure. I mean, from that point on, I always had a strong connection to here. I mean, I came back 2 months later for a party that was organized by Violetta and Lily. And then the year after, that was the album release party, 2015. Yeah.
Katy was here playing with you.
Yeah.
She was like singing. I've never heard like live singing, and then it was massive for me. Small club, very exclusive for us. Yeah. But it was miracles for our society because everything was crowdfunded. We were having memberships. Yeah. And this was like Violetta's energy was getting everything together, and it was amazing. I really think that I've met, thanks to this organization, like my favorite DJs, Oren Newson, you, and then who else was here? Ali was here, and photographer was here, and Nifra was here. So such great names. Yeah. So tell us about the album, and how did you ask Katy to come here? What was in your head, like deciding to choose Sofia, which is not very popular destination with?
I mean, for me it was because I had a good fan base here. From A State of Trance in 2013, I had from that point on, I had a really strong fan base here. So I wanted to do as many events here as possible. So that was one reason. And then why did I take Katy with me? Because I always want to offer something extra, something that's not not the ordinary. So that's why I wanted to take her with. And also she's a very good friend, so I like hanging out with her. So there was a win-win.
Yeah, awesome. Win-win is basically in the thing that I built the podcast. It's about like winning, sharing to the audience what you have to say, what my guests want to say, for them to pick up some golden nuggets to use in their lives.
Yeah.
And I really believe in this concept about giving and not like asking, and then giving, and then the audience and your friends and your collaborators give you back at some point.
Yeah.
And it's way more like sustainable. But you said something, you developed a fan base. How does a DJ develop a fan base? Like, what do you think about this? What are the ideas that you can share with your like listeners that want to develop fan bases as DJs, as musicians?
Yeah. It's not easy. It's not easy, that's for sure. And there is some kind of mystery behind it, because, I mean, there's so much good music being released these days. And only a small part of these musicians and DJs actually develop a fan base. So why is that? I think you have to offer something additional, something new, and you really, really have to believe in, you know, what you're doing, and basically be a fan of your own work, you know.
Yeah.
So
It's confidence.
Yeah, confidence, but it's also, you know, some people are in some businesses for the wrong reasons. Like, for example, money, right?
Yeah.
So if money is your only force, then people will feel that and they won't really follow you. But if you really believe in what you're doing, then it's a different story. Then it's authentic, and then people will start, you know, believing what you're doing and start following you. So that's number one. And then, of course, how do you build a fan base? Be eager, you know, consistent, never stop doing what you do. I mean, how often do you do this podcast?
Every week.
Every week
for the last like 4.5 years.
See, I mean, prime example there. Same for me. I mean, I've been releasing music since almost 15 years now under Dennis Shefър. I'm not stopping, never stopping, always, you know, giving more and more and more. And you have to keep the fire alive as well. Like, so try a few new things, you know, without, you know, forgetting where you're coming from, of course, but this kind of stuff, you know, and don't forget about the fun. Like the fun is really important. Like if it's only becoming a job or a business, then I don't think.
So I think it should be enjoyable. What you're doing,
for sure.
Yeah. This is what 100%. I do. Why I do the podcast. It's enjoyable for me. I like doing it.
Yeah.
If I didn't have any audience, or I didn't have listeners, no one, but I would still do it because I like doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not doing it for the wrong reasons is exactly the same thing I would say for podcasters.
Yeah,
because
that applies to everything.
Absolutely,
basically. Yeah.
Absolutely. Even to your job. If you don't like doing it, don't do it. Find something that you like doing.
Exactly.
Even if it's like less paid, it will bring you more joy of doing things that you like doing, and you feel useful, and you feel that you leave something behind. I have one trance track here, or probably two, that I can pinpoint to, so people can understand better what we are saying. For example, one of the most like heart-breaking songs and great artist work here is Ramilia by Ram, the tribute to his loved wife that sadly passed away. And this song united so many people, and so many people knew why Ram did this song. And I think this made him very relatable for the audience. Yeah. Everyone wanted. It is still a great song, but also a great like message.
Yeah.
And the other one is DJs United Remember Love.
Yeah.
When the sadly the Love Parade tragedy happened. Yeah. It gives me shivers, this song, when I listen to it. So it's about remembering love, and music is about creating love. I have a favorite Marilyn Manson quote. It says, "Music is a form of magic. Music is a form of magic." Something like this. These lines, for me, the closest thing to magic, something like this, because you're creating something that's in your mind, you just replicate it and then share it with the world.
True. Yeah.
So, but in the meantime, when we met, I knew that you were having your corporate career, that was because being a DJ is not like swimming in money, as you said.
It depends, of course.
Yeah.
You know, what genre and how popular you are and all of that, of course, yeah. So it can be, but it's rare.
I think in 2014 I came to Berlin on one party. It was in Club What.
Oh,
Do you remember?
True.
Yeah. I was in I was in Berlin then, and you had the party, and I came to rave a bit.
Yeah.
So why did you decide to have like full-time job and then the DJing on the side?
So to be honest, I never had a full-time job.
Okay.
After the studies, I did a part-time job in a like tax office. That's why you thought I do accounting. But it was part-time. So and then music was part-time. So it was like kind of 50-50. And then 2015, I made it my full business. But I think I decided 2019, July 2019, to make it part-time again. And then do like part-time and like another hobby I have, make it a job, which is traveling. It's not really a hobby right now, but yeah, back then it was. And I'm still working for the company, and it's, you know, everything related to traveling. And that actually was a really, really good decision for me, because in the period of 2015 to 2019, I noticed that, you know, my motivation was not only fun and, you know, the passion and stuff, because I had to pay my bills as well. So of course it becomes money driven at one point. And that had a negative impact on, I think, on me and my music. So that's why I think that when I decided in 2019 to make it part-time again and then get another part-time job, that was the best decision, because first of all, my music became better. Secondly, I made even more money with music than I made before when I had it full-time.
How do you explain this? What do you
I don't know.
happened?
I just think, so of course, when you do it part-time, you have less time. So you kind of pick and choose the projects you want to do and, you know, who you want to work with and stuff. So it's way more enjoyable and way more focused. And that's why I think in the end, I made more money actually doing it part-time, not having the financial pressure, you know, then
to say yes to everything. And
then actually doing it full-time, you know. And so that was a really, really good decision for me. And shows you like kind of proofs. It's a proof for what I said earlier. You know, you need to be in there for the passion, for the love, for the fun, you know. And then, you know, of course you have to have like kind of a business mind, because you have to generate money somehow, but it shouldn't be the priority. If fun and all of that is higher, then I think you make more money automatically, in my opinion.
So, absolutely. Yeah. I think that money are byproducts.
Yeah.
In the podcast and in the music industry as well, because, as you said previously, if you do something with the love of doing it, the result will be better. And if you can say no to the things that you don't want to do,
exactly,
and when you feel like the financial pressure to say yes to the things that you don't want to do, but nevertheless you need to do them because there's bills to be paid,
exactly,
it puts a strain on you. Also, when I started the podcast, it started as a hobby, but when I left Hamburg to came back to do it, one of the reasons that I came back to do it is because I had an opportunity to get some cash from another business. And this was like the safety net that I needed to be able to come back and say, okay, I have some savings. I have another business that's going to be helping me. So don't worry, you don't need to put any pressure on you. And now for like 2.5 years after I've left Lufthansa, I have like more than 150 supporters in Patreon.
That's amazing.
Which it's great. I've never truly thought and like dreamed of the moment that I wake up on the 1st of the month and there are like $700 USD in my account without doing anything. I mean, I don't mean not doing anything. I keep doing the podcast, but actually they're coming from nowhere. But they're coming from all these years of hard work, like yours.
Of course, yeah.
So tell me a bit more about, like, let's go deeper in this, because I think it's very what can I say? It's not realistic to think that becoming a DJ and then in like 2 months or 3 months or 1 year you'll be like top DJ and you're going to be doing this full time.
Yeah.
So you said that coming back to having a part-time job made you more relaxed, creative, made the music better.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
let's go through this concept, because nowadays people are like on Instagram or they're doing something else somewhere and thinking, okay, then I'm going to be very famous influencer, but no one likes my photos, no one likes my work. It takes time.
It takes a lot of time. And no matter what you do, consistency, like it could be creating a YouTube channel. It could be creating a website, like, I don't know, affiliate marketing website or whatever, No matter what you're into, you always have to put in the work, consistent work. It won't happen overnight, the success. So
there's a saying that it takes 10 years to become an overnight success.
yeah, basically, yeah.
It is, yeah.
So, I think people forget that. Yes, there are the exceptions to the rule, of course. Like there are people that get rich overnight and like famous overnight or successful with their project overnight. But it's really, really rare. Like usually it takes a lot of work, no matter what you do. There's no like, magic thing that will, make you successful immediately. So yeah, people have to realize that. And then of course, who will outperform their competitors? Those people who love what they consistently do, right? Yeah. So
because you can do it longer,
exactly,
without getting any.
You have way more endurance, way more endurance,
absolutely,
and the content will be better. So that explains it all, I think. Yeah, and then coming back to if you're doing something for the wrong reasons and there's financial pressure and stuff, you agree to projects you don't like. It's not only maybe they're not as well paid as they could be, but it's also very draining on you, like on your body and your energy, because you will have way less energy to focus on the things we're really good at, where your passion is and stuff, and that could really make you money, because you have this pressure of having to do the other stuff that's really draining for you. So it's a vicious circle, and basically very bad for you.
How do you solve this?
Well, taking the part-time job,
Yeah.
Okay. So that's how I solved it. And it made me realize, like even back then in 2015, I could have transitioned a little bit easier. So I did it part-time, like 50-50, the accounting and the music. I could have done maybe 70% music, 30% accounting at first, because going from 50 to 100%, I had to fill the gap with projects I didn't like so much, but that were paying the bills. But they were so draining that in the end, I performed worse, than now again with 50% music. So to cut the story short, just don't believe in miracles. Nothing happens overnight. You will really have to develop things over years. There's so many stories. Like every successful business owner will tell you, it takes time. Yeah.
It didn't take Armin to create 1,000 episodes out of nothing, right?
Exactly. And I mean, even he took many years to become number one DJ in the world. I mean, when was the first time? 2007?
I think 2008.
Something like that. And that took him 10 years as well. Like exactly what you said, 10 years. Yeah. So.
And he's Armin van Buuren.
Yeah. Very, very talented guy and very gifted.
And very hardworking.
Very hardworking, yeah.
So it's great to be able to communicate things like with people like him. Do you think that the environment of people that you're around helps?
Yes, a lot. Like surrounding yourself with people that encourage you and want to hear your ideas and motivate you. Yes, for sure, that helps a lot. And also even people who impact your creativity, like, I mean, you can meet friends, tell them about your ideas, they can give you thoughts, make your ideas better, you can give them thoughts on their ideas. So it's for sure has a very positive impact.
When you said about the high contrast recordings, when they were supporting you, how did you because for me, supporting others also, the first thing about supporting others is accepting others. So you can say, okay, this is Dennis, this is what he does, this is how he likes it. So I like it, I accept it, and then I support him.
Yeah.
So how do you end up like choosing between like people to work with? For me, it's very easy. The people that I work with, because there are some companies that support the podcast.
Yeah.
There are companies that they contacted me. I didn't contact them.
Yeah.
And on top of this, they are very easy to communicate with, because they know what I do, why I do it. They know my motives. They know like my track record.
Yep.
And they're like, okay, Georgi, let's meet at that time. We meet like with few words, get a lot of things done. Let's do it easy, and then we continue.
Yeah.
So I don't like putting in effort into negotiating or doing. I pick up I don't know. Probably my energy drains. Pulls is probably the better word. Nice people towards me, and nice partners, and nice colleagues, but other people don't. Just I don't want to work with everyone. I want to work with the companies that I believe in.
Of course. Same for me. If I think about it, like the companies I like to work with, they also approached me at first, and then it was a very, very easygoing relationship, working relationship. So yeah, I mean, of course, if they approach me, it's already proof that they believe in me, right? In my work. So that's great.
They wouldn't do it otherwise.
Yeah. And then usually I check out the company and see their work and stuff. And for example, now on tomorrow, Monday, February 1st, I will announce a remix contest. So that's basically you as an aspiring music producer and DJ, you have the chance to remix one of my tracks. So make a new version of one of my tracks. And, the first place can win prizes of around $800, which is a lot. And there are 3 companies who sponsor the prizes that I've worked with in the past, that I really enjoy working with, and that are amazing. So it's Black Octopus Sound, Lethal Audio, and Denise Audio. And I've worked with them in the past. They approached me first, and really enjoy working with them. So
which track are you going to?
Losing My Mind with Katy Heath, actually.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. Can't wait to hear it. So tell me about how you decided to create. What's in your mind when you decide to create a new album? You have a couple of tracks already. You want to. How do you?
So for me, I always have the drive to create albums, because for me it means way more freedom than just producing single tracks. Because with the single releases, you always kind of have the pressure, like somewhere in your head, that you have to produce a hit record. So with an album, it's different, because you have, let's say, 10, 15 tracks. And then, some can be hit records, but others can just be, your creative outlet. You feel like you want to do a breakbeat track, you can do a breakbeat track, things like that. So I feel like, I feel way more free, creatively free, creating albums. And then that's why I always want to do albums. So this will not be my last album, Find the Sunrise. And I love the process, and I love working with different musicians, singers, and then basically there's always a main theme. Like here, Find the Sunrise is a very positive message and stuff, and then I kind of create the tracks around that message a little. So I don't know, maybe in the future I will even do a fully how to say, like an album dedicated to a certain topic. So I don't know, like, some people
like a message.
Yeah, like
okay.
Some people say do, for example, like something related to space, and then they do like different tracks, with different sounds from space and whatever. So something like that, but not space. Maybe something else.
You don't know yet.
Don't know yet. So I have many ideas in my head, still.
This is like why you're an artist. You have ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know, a friend of mine said it. I would go over like I would choose good marketing over a good idea? I mean, it's about how much effort you put in, how you promote it. Do you think that in the DJ business, especially, it's not only about how good the idea of the track is, but how much hours did you put in it to produce it, to make it better and better and better? How many iterations do you have until you say, okay, this is the first version, okay, well, this is the last version?
It really depends. Like sometimes there's a track on Find the Sunrise, which is the fastest track I ever produced in 3 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
3 hours. And then there are other tracks, like Losing My Mind. It took me, I think, a long time. Like I think I had 4 versions or something of it, and it took me a couple of weeks actually to finish it. So it can vary. Like it depends on like what you have in your head and if you're satisfied or not. So yeah, but then you said something about marketing, right? Mm-hmm. And the quality of the music. Yeah, so I feel, unfortunately, marketing is very, very important. I wish it was different. I wish it was only the quality of the music, but unfortunately it's not. Mm-hmm. The marketing has to be on point. And it became more and more important these days. Like when I started in 2007, I feel like it was way more about the music back then still. Whereas, I like those records that were successful of mine, it was just good music. There was no real marketing plan behind it. And they became successful and hits. Whereas nowadays, you really, really have to have a marketing plan, and your Instagram has to be there and this and that, like so many things. And for me, it's a little bit annoying, to be honest, because I'm not the biggest social media fan. I do it because it's part of the job. I'm lucky because Violetta handles a lot of it.
Yeah. So but you're a public person also, so you need to have some kind of social media.
Yeah, but I don't really have the drive and the force, behind doing a story every 5 minutes, on Instagram. So just, I don't know. I don't like it so much, But yeah, luckily Violetta took over some part of that job. So she does some postings on social media for me. And that's great because it made me more creative again, because there's way less weight on my shoulders. So I can, focus on other things. So that's great.
I have a metaphor about me doing the podcast. Yeah. It's about me being the captain. So the captain cannot be the best cook on the ship, and you need a cook. Yeah. And you cannot be the best navigator on the ship. Yeah. You just need to unite others and lead them, and the others can, if they love what they do, they can do it way better than you.
Exactly.
So true. This is what I like to used to say. I cannot edit videos. I cannot edit audios. I have Simeon here. Yep. I have Rado, So Play. He's the guy that believed in me even before there was the first episode of the podcast. I called him. I had the idea. I picked up the phone. I say, "Hey, Rado, would you please help me? I have an idea to do a podcast. Can you help me?" Yep. He was like, "Yeah." One call, and I already had my first crew member on the board of the ship.
It's cool, yeah.
And he has edited every single audio of every single episode for the last 4.5 years. These are 225 plus episodes. So he did it. And then few months later, he was looking for a job, and I told him, "Listen, I have some friends. Let me introduce you to them." And now he's working for one of my friends, other friends, Ivan, whose studio this is, and he's extremely happy. So it's about, once again, win-win.
Yeah, exactly.
Helping others, then they help you, and you help them, and it's it gives love and positive vibes in the world.
For sure. Fully agree.
Yeah. So I totally get you about you don't want to do stuff that you don't like doing.
Yeah.
I like communicating with others. That's why I do the interview.
Of course. Yeah.
And Moni likes editing. He does the editing.
Yeah.
But some people cannot do it, and other people like to be fully responsible for everything. I don't understand it, but it's totally up to them to decide.
I used to be like that. I used to do everything by myself. Like, for example, my second artist album, where I had the release party here, Fight Your Fears, where I invited Cathy Eve. During that period, I was doing my own label. So I did the self-released the album. So I basically did everything. Like I did the promotion for the album, I did the contracts, I did the accounting, I did the music productions, the everything. And it was okay, but I feel like, I could have rather, focused on what I can really do and let other people who enjoy the stuff, like, producing and like manufacturing an album and stuff, do that, Yes, I would have had to give them a cut, of course, of the profits, whatever. But
would have been worth it.
Yeah, for sure.
So like, if you can go back, what would you change? If like imagine that you can go back and change the process all over, what would you do differently?
I would have probably worked. So, Black Hole Recordings was distributing the album. I would have let them take more admin work on, for example. So I would have let them do the accounting, the contracts, blah, 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 given them a percentage, and that's it. And then I would have had, no worries, But that's basically what I did now. Like my third artist album, I did it fully with Black Hole Recordings. So they are the label releasing it. They get a bigger percentage of the profits, but I just produced the music. They did the rest. Yeah,
but with my manager. This is what you love doing.
Exactly, and I'm way more happier with that. I'm less stressed out, and if you always have to also think basically in hours. Like everyone always calculates in time, in money, but it's actually, you should calculate in time. Like how much time do you lose, doing a project like that? And then what could you do? What else could you do in that time? You could start, I don't know, you could start so many new projects. You could even like just thinking I could have relaxed. Yeah. That's also very valuable.
Spend time with my family.
Exactly.
Work out.
Yeah. So many people forget that. Like they think, okay, no, I don't want to get, let's say, someone cleaning my apartment because it will cost me, I don't know, let's say 20 lever an hour.
Euro.
Okay?
Yeah.
Or,
20
whatever.
euro.
Yeah. But they forget that for these 20 lever, they buy time. They buy time, and they can, like go with a dog. They can work out, meet friends, whatever. Yeah. So that's so valuable.
It is.
Or even if you want to think in monetary values, like, oh, but I can make 50 or 100 lever an hour. So I rather pay someone 20 lever an hour and have
do something that I don't want to do.
Yeah. So yeah, it's obvious, I think. And I never used to be like that. I learned that only the past few years, and it helped me a lot. It helped me so much progressing with my business.
Yeah. My fiance told me this because we have someone helping us with cleaning out.
Yeah.
And this lady's, we're not saying cleaning out. She's helping us with our house.
Yeah.
She basically comes every 2 weeks. We are out. Neda is like working. I'm going somewhere. Yep. She does everything. We end up home. We don't spend hours and hours and hours on Sundays, Saturdays. We don't grow frustrated with the other person that has not like put the vacuum cleaner or whatever.
Yeah.
We know that twice a week she'll be there. And I started learning this also in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So I would prefer to work with someone that knows his craft, likes doing it.
Yeah.
And I just focus on what I like doing.
Exactly. And there's another thing I wanted to say. What was it now?
Changing something about your album and then giving more to Black Hole. You remember afterwards.
Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah.
So you end up here in when did you arrive in Sofia?
In August
2020.
Yeah. And I
in the middle of COVID pandemic.
Well, yeah, but at that point, like the measures were kind of
summer was chill. Summer was okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So I remember meeting you. Probably was in September, something like this. It was quite warm. I was with my bike.
Yeah.
And you said that you were doing the album here.
Yeah.
You didn't know if you're going to stay for longer. When did you decide to stay, like for longer period?
It was a bit of a.
And why? Because some people are like, I want to run. No, Germany, I'll go to Germany. I've been to Germany. And yeah, it's nice, but also there are some positives here as well.
Exactly. So so I think I arrived around 20th of August or something. And then first 3-4 weeks were really enjoyable, and then the end of my stay was already in sight. So I thought, I really enjoy it. So why should I not extend it? So I extended it a little bit by 2 weeks or something, and then so many factors. I love the weather here. It's so much better than in Germany. Like winter is miserable in Germany. It's like for 6 months it's just gray and you know,
I know.
You don't see any sunlight.
From
nothing.
October to May it is.
Exactly. It's horrible. So here, you know, you all so often wake up with a fully blue sky. I love it. I love it. So I feel like sometimes Bulgarians also don't appreciate it because they don't know otherwise, but it's really amazing, the weather here. Even now in February, it's really enjoyable, I think. So that was a reason. Then I feel like in Bulgaria things are a little bit more relaxed, like mentality wise. Like, you know, in Germany everything is like, you know, rules and it has to be this way, blah blah blah. And here, you know, people do it their own way.
Flexible.
You know? Flexible. I like that, to be honest. I like it. And then I mean I met really cool people here. I found a really cool personal trainer I'm training with regularly.
So you said you're into calisthenics now?
Yeah, exactly.
So you're doing calisthenics training with a trainer?
Yeah.
Bulgarian guy? Yeah. What's his name?
Radoslav Rangelov.
All right, you're training in Motivity. He's been on the podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, of course. Rado is a friend of mine. I went there. I had a bad mobility in my wrists, and I went there to help me. And I also had a problem with.
He's amazing.
With my feet, he's great. Yeah. So guys, find out the episode with Rado if you know Bulgarian. Unfortunately, only, but maybe in a couple of years when I start my global domination superhuman podcast, I'll invite him to speak in English about the ability to move. Yeah, because this is what he does.
Yeah, his English is also very good.
It is, and he helped me a lot. He also trains Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in another club, but he trains, and we've had a lot of discussions about like my hips and how to stand up.
Such a small world. I have to tell him. I see him tomorrow again.
Awesome. Tell him. Listen, I've been to the Superhuman podcast too. So
yeah, very cool.
Sophie is. It feels like a neighborhood. Because most of the people know themselves, know each other, and then otherwise they introduce one through the other. And Rado is great.
Yeah, and he's also.
I don't know why I decided to ask you this, but.
And again, a super great example of an authentic guy who loves what he's doing.
He loves it.
Yeah, you can feel that immediately, and he's so knowledgeable, and he has also helped me a lot. Like, he's great.
And he doesn't have like this a personal trainer, big egos, like this is what I tell you to do, do it. He's like always asking you questions. How does this feel? Okay.
Exactly.
Lift your like thumb, then lift the fingers, and then he's giving me a lot of things to do, and I'm really helpful. It really helped me move. I'm also a personal trainer myself, but what I do, going back to what we said earlier, I like finding people that can give me knowledge in other fields that can shorten my learning curve. Yeah. So it's there. If I want to produce music, I won't try doing it myself. I'll just tell you, Dennis, can you come for like a couple of hours to show me stuff? Yeah.
And even within music production, there are so many different like fields. For example, I'm very good with the technical stuff. I can make a record sound amazing, but I'm not as good with composition, for example, composing my melodies. It takes me a long time and I can get there eventually, but, I can also ask someone, hey, I have this melody in my head. Can you help me, creating it? It's not a problem asking for help. It's, and I'm very open about this. This is not a big deal for me.
For me, it's the shortest way to become more successful quicker is to have people around you, like you're in your environment, you can go to and say, hey, listen, I have a problem. Would you be able to help me? What would this cost me in hours? Are you willing to support me or learn me or advise me or mentor me?
Yeah. So I remembered what I wanted to say. So I feel like, there are like some really helpful things like that, everyone who is listening can take from this. So first of all is don't have a big ego. Like if you cannot be good at everything. So, get help from people, then value your time, like what we said earlier. And then the third point was, so what I changed in the last few years as well, which helped me a lot, now I remember, is I was a little bit of a control freak, so I wanted everything to be perfect. So I double checked everything that other people did for me, and if there was a mistake, you know, I did it myself. You know, like I changed it, and you know, I was like, yeah, no, it has to be 100% correct. But now I'm so much more relaxed about things like that. You know, like, I mean, mistakes happen, and most of the times these mistakes, they don't even matter at all. And you know, if you don't care so much about it, it will make you way more relaxed, and you can focus your energies on, you know, becoming, you know, better and doing better things, you know, within your business. And that applies, I think, to everything.
It does.
Yeah.
For me, also, I totally get your point. When I started the podcast, I started it with one iPad, no mics, no external microphones. And what I wanted to do is do iterations. First episode, okay, this is what I've learned from it. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And it kept growing and growing and growing. And now 220 episodes later, we had these wonderful podcaster mics. We have the lighting, we have the cameras, we have everything. But I would not have been developing myself as better organizer, better like show host without doing the mistakes.
Yeah.
I know so many things that can go wrong that I wouldn't have known if I was thinking, okay, there's the perfect checklist, and no, this I don't like it. I could this and this and this. I've always, and I even tell it to Simeon, the guy behind the decks at the moment, and the cameras, like, we need to do this mistake. We did it. Okay, we learned from it. Okay, we didn't have a camera. Okay, we do like one close up to the guest and one shot that we have both of us. So doing mistakes makes you learn things quicker.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, true. And I mean, trying to be better is also good, of course, but
it's better than trying to be better than trying to be perfect.
Yeah, because I think perfectionism can really destroy, you know, your effectivity and your drive and all of that. So.
I have a friend of mine that had a technique to like record podcasts.
Yeah.
For more than like 3,000 or 4,000 level, which is 2,000-3,000 euro. Yeah. And he basically asked him, how many episodes do you have? Do you know what he answered?
Zero.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so I started with my iPad. It doesn't really matter what kind of equipment do you have. It matters your willingness to learn and keep learning.
Exactly.
This is my personal opinion. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you can have another opinion. But there are two things that perfectionism is going to easily kill. First is your idea, because you can, if you have this mentality of doing everything absolutely in a perfect way, as soon as I have 200 episodes, you have like 5 or 10.
Yeah. I have a good example there.
Yeah. And the second thing is you probably won't even start.
True.
Because you'll be scared and in this what's it called? Paralysis by analysis.
True. But I also feel like this 80-20 thing really applies.
Works.
Yeah, like, I mean, you can achieve 80% of the results with 20% effort, and then the last 20% take 80% effort. So, you know, sometimes it's better to be okay with the 80%, you know, and then focus your energies on other things.
You know that first iteration is you do 20% and brings you 80% of the effort. Then these 20% that are left, when you do another 20% on them, it becomes 96% from the one in the beginning. I think so. I think that I'm always sticking to the worst. I even remember I have a very famous quote. I've heard it from Brendan Burchard, but I've also seen it on the 8th Habit of Stephen Covey. It's on the first page, actually. It says, the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. So, because sometimes we forget. We say, okay, let's do like the cover and then the list of the tracks and then the promo and then the marketing. What's in it?
True.
What's the most important thing for you? What's the main thing for you as a music producer?
Well, creating music, right? I mean, yeah.
For me, it's creating an episode.
Yeah.
It's not like how I film it. It's about what we do right now. This is my main thing.
Yeah. There's another cool book called The One Thing. It's very
Gary Keller. Love it. This is one of my favorite questions in the world.
Yeah.
What is the thing that you're not doing at the moment, but by doing it, it will make everything else in your life way easier or totally unnecessary. This is called the focusing question. Find it. And the Gary Keller is one thing. Do you recommend the book?
Yes, I love it. I
love it too.
It's
Love
so
it too.
good, yeah.
Okay, we are into books now. Can you recommend other books?
Let me think.
I always ask about books.
Yeah. I have such a big list of books I still want to read.
If you want, you can take out your phone and see it on Goodreads.
Let me.
Okay.
So I really I love to ask people about their recommendation for the best book they ever read.
Okay.
And, I got a few. Kindle.
Yeah. Would you want me to answer your question?
Yeah, do that, please.
Yeah, the best book that I've ever read. I'll go for fiction and non-fiction.
Okay.
So non-fiction, it will be The 7 Habits of the Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this book, I call it what's it called in English? It's a book that you learn from. It's not a regular just facts or stories.
Yeah.
It just you learn from it. And the best fiction for me, my favorite fiction book is The Martian.
Okay, I don't know it.
The Martian. Have you watched the movie?
No.
With Matt Damon?
No.
It's written by one of the software developers of Warcraft.
Okay.
By Blizzard.
Yeah.
Back in the days.
Yeah.
He's called Andy Weir, and The Martian is it's an amazing book. It's a very nice to read. It's proof checked that everything that's written in it can happen. So you can grow potatoes on Mars from your poo, basically. You can do that. I mean, they're amazing stuff that basically is written inside. There's an expedition to Mars, and one of the guys is left on Mars.
Okay.
And he survives.
Yeah.
And it's a very good book. I love it. I love the way that it's written. It's easy to read, very, very funny, very nice, and brings a lot of positivism, and I love it. And then the other book is Stephen Covey's. He's a giant.
Cool. Yeah, I just found my list. Yeah. So these are all books that were highly recommended that I...
Yeah, but the ones that you want to recommend.
Yeah. Well, for me, honestly, the one thing was one of the best ones. Mm-hmm. It helped me a lot because I'm very... sometimes very unfocused. I have so many ideas in my mind, and then I get sidetracked. And the one thing really made me realize that I have to focus on, the main thing that brings me forward and block out the other thing. For example, what I notice is I'm so effective when I have a session with a client. So someone who wants to learn music production from me.
So you do sessions with your clients?
Yes.
Awesome.
So I teach music production, and I put my phone on the side. There's no internet on the PC, and I'm just focused on the session and teaching. And I feel like I'm just in the moment, I'm getting into the flow state, and that can happen with music production as well. You just block everything off, you put everything aside, and you focus on, just what you're doing right now. Okay, so some of the books that I'm reading right now or want to read that were highly recommended by people I trust. For example, The Power of Now.
Eckhart Tolle.
Yeah. That one is still on my list. One that I started reading already is called The Sedona Method. I think that's very unknown. The book is very cool. So it's basically, in short, about releasing things that can block you. So, for example, they bring an example in this book of children. Let's say, two children are playing. The one child gets a toy and the other one not. The other one is crying, right? Oh, I didn't get a toy. But then the child is crying and releasing this anger and the disappointment. And then after 2 minutes, it's fine. The child is back at, whatever it was doing. So, it's about, releasing these energies and moving on without... a lot of people, they say, oh, you have to solve this or you have to solve that. And you need to really self-reflect, blah, blah, blah. But sometimes it's just about releasing it. Sometimes you're angry or disappointed or something. It's just a feeling. you can accept having that feeling and then just release it. And so the book is about that. And I have a book about Buddhism here, which I'm also quite interested in. A book about sleep. So
which one? Matthew Walker?
No, it's
Why
actually
We Sleep.
Why We Sleep. Yeah,
Of course. I've read it. I've listened to it. It's an amazing book. I highly recommend it.
I started with
it's
it.
Important.
I found the one experiment funny that they had with the spiders, where they gave drugs to spiders, and then the one drug that was the worst was caffeine, and the best drug was LSD. Imagine.
Yeah. The spider started doing different type of nets.
Webs. Yeah.
Webs. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Spider webs. Yeah.
In Bulgaria, net and web is the same thing.
Same in German.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to say something very interesting here, because you said like letting go of things. When I started the podcast, I started with this iPad that I told you about. But do you know how I got the podcast? How I got the iPad? I got it from a Visa game of my credit card.
Oh, okay.
And I won it the week after I gave my old laptop to my mother. I just gifted my old laptop to my mother, say, hey, use it. I don't use it anymore. I don't need it. I know that you need a computer at home. You can use it. So she started using it. And next week I get a phone call. Hey, listen, we are calling from, it was, which bank was it? A United Bulgarian Bank, UBB. You've played in our, we pulled out your name in the game, Visa's game. So you win our prize. And I was like, what prize? Because it sounds like a scam. And they say, our biggest prize. And I, what's your biggest prize? She was like, an iPad. I was like, oh, great.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So
really cool.
I got it and I didn't know what to do about it.
Yeah.
I was thinking about selling it, but no, I wouldn't sell it. And I started using it to the fitness, like recording on the Google Sheets what my trainees were doing. And probably a couple of weeks later, the idea of the podcast came to be. And I was like, okay, I'll do it on the iPad. And I've been doing it on the iPad from episode 1 to episode 199.
Wow.
So like almost 200 episodes on this podcast.
Wow.
They were done on the iPad that I basically got because I let go of something else.
Yeah. True.
So yeah, I find the books and I always do recommendations about the books that my guests are giving. Also, the one thing is in Bulgarian too.
Oh, okay, that's great.
Also, The Power of Now is also in Bulgarian. If you can remember of any other book that you wanna mention, not at the moment.
Not right now.
Okay.
No.
I want to bring you back to something that you said before. When I came to Bulgaria, when I decided to go back from Germany to Bulgaria, it was because I had this project I wanted to work on. Yeah. But then I realized one thing that I think is very important, and most of the people don't understand it. It's called it's a concept about everything has a price. So what you decide to do, every choice that you do has a price. Yeah. That you're willing to pay. If you're willing to pay, it means that you're aware of what you're doing and what the outcome can be, and it might not be, but it can be. For example, when I left Germany, I knew I'm coming back to Sofia to be with my girlfriend. Yep. That's positive. Be with my friends, be with my family, do my podcast. But like negatives were like I'm not getting enough money because in Germany I had my contract. So the negative was the price was letting go of my financial stability. Letting go of my corporate career, because I've been in the Lufthansa Technik for 5 years, which means that I could have grown. But I decided that if I don't do this, I'm going to regret it someday. I'm going to wake up one day and say I've really had something really important that could have helped a lot of people in Bulgaria, and I didn't go back to it. I didn't do it until I don't want to do it anymore. No. And there's a one book that I'm going to recommend to you because I see that you have the same things in yourself. It's called The Infinite Game by Simon Sinek. Okay. It's about the games being finite and infinite. Finite is I'm going to become a DJ so I can get like 10,000 euro per month. Yeah. What happens afterwards? But if you want to be a DJ because you love producing music, you can do it forever.
Exactly. True. Yeah.
So this is why I do the podcast. This is why I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I do it because I love it.
Yeah.
And I'll be there tomorrow. It doesn't matter what kind of belt I have. If it's white, blue, or black.
It's true.
I'll keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. So 2 books now. 2 book recommendations. The Infinite Game and the 7 Habits.
Yeah.
Okay.
The highly effective people.
Okay.
So yeah, the 7 Habits have a lot of insights about like helping yourself. For example, there's one of the habits is, first habit is always be proactive.
Mm-hmm.
Second habit is seek to understand, then to be understood. So you need to understand others. The fourth habit is always think win-win. You already do that.
Mm-hmm.
But win-win is something that I built the podcast around.
Yeah.
I was thinking, how can I build something that I've never built, a blog, a website, nothing.
Yeah.
This is my first project ever in my life. And I said, okay, what does it need to have to be sustainable? Sustainable means people are looking for it, they like it, they come back to it. It needs to be helpful. It needs to be able to give the ability from my guests to show the world what their story is and how they end up in the position that they're at. And to me, gives me a network of people like you. I mean, I knew you from before, but generally, I knew other people only from Facebook. For example, the guy that's behind this Dubuff specialty coffee. And today I learned that specialty coffee is something very exquisite, very special, and it's very like it's the best tasting coffee in the world. Mm-hmm. And one of the top experts worldwide is Bulgarian. Mm-hmm. And when he started like 13 years ago.
It's not the guy at Espresso Cultura, right?
No.
Okay.
Another guy.
Okay.
Yeah, Espresso Cultura, he might be doing espresso, but this guy is buying the coffee from the farms.
Okay.
So you see, he's like, I've heard about this Espresso Cultura guy that's doing a coffee for 2011. Yeah. I don't know. It might be his thing.
I got mixed up with the exchange rates when the first week I was here, and I got a coffee there actually.
Okay.
It wasn't as great as I thought, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
15 lever for an espresso.
Okay. I don't know. I haven't tried it, but last week I end up on one of his posts. But for me, there is a market for everyone. I mean,
of course,
if you are authentic and you believe that this is the price that you want to charge people, do it. It's totally up to you.
Yeah. Of course.
So tell me about Find the Sunrise. So the album is ready.
Yeah, it's
here.
Here it is. So released since 15th of January. Took me almost a year to produce. I was a guest on A State of Trance with this, presented my album there, being a guest in other radio shows, for example, ABGT by Above and Beyond in March as well.
Love it.
So very,
I
very
haven't
proud.
heard that said because I'm listening to ABGT.
No, it's only coming in March. So it's still upcoming.
Oh, the episode.
Yeah.
All right. So you had a guest mix on it?
Not yet. It's coming. Still.
Okay. Yeah. Because I'm listening to it this is the only thing that left from my trance years is ABGT. Me and Neda, my fiance, we're listening to it every week. So.
Yeah. So I'm very proud of this. There's a lot of personal stories in there. So this time also for the first time ever, I wrote lyrics. So usually I never did this, but because of some. Basically, I grew an interest in writing as well, songwriting. It started with, jamming with Katy Heath. And then we worked on another project together, started writing together. And then, I got into songwriting as well, which is great. And then, of course, some live events of mine from the past are in this album and in the lyrics, so it's very, very personal, the album, which is great. And it feels way more of a peace of mind than the albums before. I'm not saying the albums before were not a peace of mind, but this is even more personal. So I'm very much, very, very proud of this album. And it's great.
Awesome. Why is it called Find the Sunrise?
So basically, the first track on the album is called Find the Sunrise. And there it's in this track, it's about a relationship and that is kind of broken up already, but you're still kind of enjoying the moment. And as a broader message, Find the Sunrise for me is something like, I said that in my A State of Trance interview as well. So basically, life always has ups and downs, you know. There's always like the sunlight and there's always darkness, you know. So and you know, if you're in a place, in a dark place, you know, you just have to be patient, you know, and be positive, and you know the sunrise will come eventually. You just, you know, have to see and be patient. And so that's basically the broader message of Find the Sunrise. You know, there's always positive things happening at one point, even if right now they are not, but at some point they are. So
you don't know about it, but may I sit?
Yeah,
thanks. So you probably don't know about this, but when I met you, it was in the beginning of 2013. I was unemployed, having no money whatsoever, living with Lily at that point, and I think a lot of things that happened in my life afterwards. I totally like. I need to give kudos to her for like helping me. For example, she helped me find Lazar, the guy that helped me help myself like physically start working out. Then in May 2013, 2 months after the show, I found my job, and it have like this is the darkest moment of my life. It was the winter of 2020 to 2012, 2013, and it was very hard for me. But because of the friends that I had around me, friends that helped, there is a saying about the King Solomon's ring. Do you know what's written on it?
No.
It's written, "These two shall pass."
Okay.
So everything shall pass. I mean, the good things and the bad things will pass. And you need to be like looking for the sunrise, but also looking for it. It will inevitably come also the dawn.
Exactly.
So
life is always like a sinus curve.
It's a dusk and dawn. So the dusk will come, the dawn will come. Some days will be like darker, some will be sunnier and better. But you need to be aware of this. And then my whole life started moving in a positive direction. In the spring of 2013, and it has been growing rapidly upwards ever since. But this would not have happened without Lily and my friends. The guys that I spent time like dancing and doing all these cool things in 2013, enjoying the parties and the music. So I believe that in every person's life there are like such dark times, but also the positivity that lighter days and better days will come is something that will keep you going through like the darkest of days and nights. So great. I can't wait to listen to it. In the car.
I still have a CD player in the car?
I actually don't have a car. It's my father's car, but I drive it in the winter. So this is going in the car. So I'm going to be listening to it. And I know, you know, Kati and can't wait. Super cool. And as soon as Roger Shah is probably one of the guys that he has very melodic sound and really loved Sun Lounger. Amazing, great artists that you've picked up here. Can't wait.
Cool.
And I need to send my best regards to Katia. I haven't seen her for a while. All right. So I wish that this album becomes your best one until your next one.
Thanks, sir.
Because becoming better is it's a part of the journey.
Exactly.
I think it is. So great, awesome. So guys, this is the album, Find the Sunrise. And you can listen to it on Spotify and everywhere.
YouTube, SoundCloud.
And if you like Dennis and if you wanna like work with him on your music producing skills, message me or message him directly. Because I have listeners that are contacting my guests. That's something that they say like touched the listeners, and this is great and very kudos for the proactivity, guys. Keep doing it. I think that the guys that are here on this chair, we always want to help you, and being thankful to them for sharing their story is always a great way to establish a nice connection. So awesome. Cool. I have one very special. What can I say? I have one very special thing that we're going to do now. I have a friend of mine that's doing a board game for team buildings for companies. It's called Kiss the Frog Now.
I hope you're not the frog.
No. I'm not. It's this is how it looks like. It's in English, and it also gives the ability for people to establish connections with their teammates.
Okay.
So
Cool.
this part is called personal questions.
Okay.
The game is over there behind you. You can see it behind yourself. It has a lot of gaming elements in it.
Cool.
But here are some personal question cards.
Okay.
We're going to draw one. You're going to read it, and you're going to answer the question.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not like, they're corporately personal.
What's your biggest childhood drama? No, just kidding.
Yeah, my biggest childhood drama is probably when I tried to burn the house that we lived in. Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't do it intentionally. It was just I was playing with one candle under the stairs, and under the stairs were some briquettes that were used for like warming the house that we lived in. I don't know, 6 years old, something like that.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was something that like marked me for life. But yeah, so pick one. You can take them if you want, and
Okay.
just pick one as you want, and then read it. Okay.
Okay.
Give me the others.
Okay, if you could watch a recording of an event from your own past, what would it be and why? Huh. That's interesting. What would it be? I would say definitely an event, like a positive event. What would it be? I'm actually not sure. I could watch a recording of an event from the past. What would it be and why? Well, it's hard to say. So would probably still be like a very personal life event.
Mhm.
So my marriage, I would probably watch again
Yeah.
because there was a very
Awesome.
great moment. So that was the first thing I thought about, and then after thinking more and more and more, the second thing was my A State of Trance show here, because there was like, because the adrenaline and stuff that I got in that moment, it's a rush, it's a rush, like you feel high, like from the energy and from the people and all of that. So I think these two things would be like the things I would definitely want to watch again.
Awesome. I'll give you the chance to pick one card for me, because it's in English and the cards are in English.
Okay.
Choose one. All right, I'll go. If you could become a fictional character from a book or a film, who would it be?
That's such an easy question compared to mine.
So, fictional character from a book or film, who would it be? I think I would become a Superman. Yeah, it is.
You have to say it. Superhuman podcast.
It
You have
is
to say
Superhuman
Superman.
podcast, but like Superman is, for me, the one thing that I really like about him is the ability to fly. I mean, with the ability to fly, you can basically do anything. I mean, if I only have the ability of Superman to fly, it will be good enough for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
If it's like a normal, like it's fictional, but still like a normal, what can I, who else can I say? Let's see, a movie, a book, another book. That's interesting.
But I was also thinking of superheroes when I read this question.
Yeah,
so I think you
superheroes.
got it. I think that was the intention.
Yeah, I
of the
wouldn't go
question.
Hulk. I was thinking about nice superpowers. Yeah, Spider-Man, there are not enough tall buildings here in Sofia, so it's
True.
pretty useless.
Sure.
Being invisible for me is being sneaky. I don't like it. I like being strong, courageous, and being an example of positive behavior. So Batman is just too rich for me. It's just he's the gadget guy. Yeah. Captain America, not my type of character. Yeah. Thor sounds right too. He can also fly, but Superman is probably the guy that I would love to be Clark Kent.
What's the guy's name with the
Wolverine.
Wolverine. I would become Wolverine.
Yeah, why?
For the body and the strength.
Yeah, he has he's very strong and
Yeah.
like, tough skin.
Yeah.
Tough bones.
Yeah. Very tough guy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting question because you need what you think is that you don't want to miss someone that's really worth it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go through like the best movies ever.
Is there a character that can travel in time? Because that would be the ability I would want.
Yeah, this is interesting. Yeah. Who has the ability to travel through time?
The Flash, basically.
The Flash?
Yeah.
Through running?
Yeah.
Or
at least that's what he does in the show. So.
Yeah, but I would like to go back to the Middle Age or
Yeah,
even like
I've
year
always-
zero. Or
yeah,
something,
I've
you know?
always thought of like going back to the medieval times.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I there are things that I would have changed in the world, but it's evolution. So,
Yeah.
but being there or being able, I also had a question in my podcast about if you can go back in time to yourself. So how much back would you go, and what are you going to share with you, like as an information or knowledge, or what are you going to say to yourself, tell to yourself? What would you do? Where would you go? Like, would you go to when you were like a kid, say, hey, you're doing a great job, keep doing what you're doing, or you're going to go to like a party to enjoy it more? Or I have a question. My answer here is I would like to go and save my grandfather.
Oh,
He had like a very like a bad situation that happened like 20 years ago, 1999. So it was he did an operation, then after the operation there was some kind of things that happened, and I would have went there and saved him like the day before and brought him to the hospital or something in advance.
Okay.
But what about you?
To be completely honest, I don't have a time where I would go back and do things
You won't change.
differently. Because I feel like even the bad things that happen in my life, they happen for a reason. I mean, I learned from it, and that made me the person I am today, right? So, I mean, yeah, I could say, oh, I want to go back to the time where I broke my arm, you know, and tell myself, oh no, don't play football today, you know, or something. But, you know, I learned from this a lot as well. I learned to be very appreciative, you know, of life, and, you know, knowing that every minute something can change, you know, and I'm very, it's very clear for me now, but back then it wasn't. So even though, you know, I cannot use the arm fully as much as before, it's okay for me, you know. And there are other things in life that also happened where I feel like, you know, I learned from this, and it made me the person I am today. So
this is the most common answer that I got in this podcast
Really?
on this question.
Okay.
Yeah. Like most of the
That's
people,
cool.
like I would have been a different person, so I wouldn't go and change anything.
That's cool. Yeah.
In my personal story is about someone that I cared about, and
Yeah,
it
of
was
course.
like it could have changed. It could have been like in a different outcome. So
Yeah.
I really think so, that everything that happened to us, because when I started the podcast I was 30.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything that is my own in this world. I didn't have a project. I didn't have anything.
Yeah.
I've never thought about like entrepreneurship, doing my own project, cause, helping others.
Yeah.
I was just helping others, like
Yeah.
one-off things. And then when I became 30, I was thinking, okay, then becoming 30, what did I do in the last 10 years? Because I started the podcast, I was like, yeah, this is the greatest thing ever. I wasted 10 years of my life between 20 and 30. And then I said, no, these 10 years built me to the person that I am today. And if they never happened, I wouldn't have been the same person.
Exactly.
I wouldn't have had the same people in my life. I wouldn't have had the success that I'm having doing the things that I love. So yeah, I totally get you.
Yeah.
All right, we went through the books. We went through your like the things that you change. I would say that these are the success principles that you said about like having less ego, asking for help, and all this.
Yeah.
We went through your album. So you are what's your current plan? What's your plan at the moment? how do you develop yourself? What are you focused on to become a better like producer and also like a human being?
Yeah, working on different projects. For example, I will do an online course in the next few months with one of my side projects, so more techno music sound. I'm working on new tracks already for later in the year. We are working on remixes for some of the tracks there. That's like the music side of things. Then, of course, with the calisthenics, I want to become better and better. Like I have some, with calisthenics, you try to learn skills, right? Like handstand and a planche or front lever, something like that. So I'm still working on, achieving those goals because these skills are really not easy to learn. I started climbing here in Bulgaria, which I really enjoy. So then, like personal development, probably, trying to read the books that I still have on my list. What else? I hope that, the whole situation kind of changes this year.
So we can travel.
We can travel again because I think I want to stay in Sofia long term, have it as my European home base, but I would also like to, during the winter, go to Southeast Asia, for example, and live there because I just like the warmth and the sun and all of that. So I could imagine, like living here half a year, then maybe 3 months in Bali, 3 months in Vietnam or something, or Thailand. So these are the plans right now.
Awesome.
Other than that, a little bit of, investment stuff here and there. I'm still educating myself about that as well. Got a little bit into cryptocurrency a few months ago. Before everyone went crazy about it, I was already in it, okay? It's not just the hype now. But yeah.
But this has been a hype for the last, I don't know, like 10 years. I don't know, not 10, but 5 years.
Yeah,
in 2017, I was in Germany. I was thinking, I have a couple of extra euros that I can spend on Bitcoin, but it was like 3,000. I was like, no. It's not going higher. It's not going higher. It was 3,000. Now it's 30,000.
Yeah.
So I would have had like 10 times the return if I invested in it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's like when I do mistakes like this, but I don't consider them mistakes. I'm testing things.
Yeah,
this is my way.
Yeah.
So if I pass on opportunity, it was not for me. Like there will be opportunity for me, so that I won't pass.
No, I definitely agree. So educating myself about financial stuff. It's not only cryptocurrency for me, ETFs as well.
How are you doing it?
Sorry,
how are you doing it? Who's educating you? Are you
books,
reading?
Yeah, like a German book I was reading. Then I'm watching a lot of YouTube. I'm reading a lot. So different sources. So I never trust just one source. So
are you planning on learning Bulgarian?
Da.
Okay.
Yeah. A little bit.
Ausgezeichnet.
I can speak a little bit. I can do the daily things like.
What do you know in Bulgarian?
Etno espresso mola. For example.
So you won't starve?
No, I won't starve.
You can order food.
I can do that, yeah. I can say my like numbers and my address in Bulgarian, and so that's pretty cool. Like,
how much time did you spend on learning this?
So I was lucky because I did a course in Russian in 2012 or something at my university. So I learned Cyrillic to read it and write. So when I came here, it was a big benefit, big advantage. And then when I see things now written and I just pronounce them, I often already know what it is. So it could be anything. Like, for example, I was quite, I found it quite funny. Before New Year's Eve, I saw like some writing there, and then I read it and I was like, Feuerwerki. And I was like, oh, yeah, fireworks, so easy. Yeah, things like that. So always, learning more vocabulary, and just the grammar is a little bit hard, but yeah, I'm not, I want to actually, once, things open up, I want to actually attend a course for learning Bulgarian, because I feel like, in person, that's way better than
It is.
with the apps and stuff. I tried the apps a little bit, but I'm not really remembering much from it, to be honest. Yeah.
Because in 2021, I'm going to try to make the listeners of the podcast aware of the importance of learning languages.
Yeah.
And I already had a person on my podcast. He's one of the founders of Vitosha Ventures Partners. This is a venture capital fund in Bulgaria that's going to operate with 26 million euro. Helping businesses, not only tech businesses, but all kind of businesses in Bulgaria, and not only Bulgaria, but on the Balkans and Europe. And he is born in Russia, lived in the States with a Dutch citizenship, and he speaks Bulgarian. We had the podcast in Bulgarian. So next time I talk to you, I need to do it in Bulgarian, because what I picked from our conversation with Max, he's called Max Gurvitz, and what I picked from his conversation is that he's Bulgarian by choice. It looks like you're becoming Bulgarian by choice too, which is amazing, because people are like, we want to flee Bulgaria, but listen, there are people that are coming here to do what they love, and it works fine. It works. You said that you like the weather, you like the people, you have like the fan base, but I'm sure that not a lot of your fan base knows that you're actually at the moment, like literally here in Sofia, and working and living here.
Sure.
And someone can meet you in like Rado's gym in Motivity and say, Dennis Shefър, what are you doing here? You know what? I was talking to my girlfriend about something, and she was like, you know Dennis Shefър? I was like, how do you know about Dennis Shefър? So it's very funny. I was like, we are friends. We have pictures with him.
A funny story. The other day I was in the dog park. And there was a guy training calisthenics outside, I think a month ago or something. And he had a small speaker with him. And all of a sudden I hear trance music. And it's louder and louder. And I'm looking, and he's looking at me. And then a few minutes later I look again, he's looking. And then after I was about to leave, he comes up to me and says, Dennis, what are you doing here? So funny. Really. Awesome. So random. Like really like a random neighborhood, Banishora, like a dog park, random dog park, and someone recognizes me, says, Dennis, what are you doing here?
Yeah, Dennis Shepard. So people will know that you're here when I post the picture.
Yeah.
Awesome. So would you want to ask me any questions, or you want to go in on another direction, something that we haven't covered? So we went through your career, we went through like the hardships of doing like solo, everything that you like. If I've chosen the podcast full time, I would have also suffered, go knocking on doors, asking for money, asking for support, asking for patrons. But now it's just, I know that my energy drives them, and what we do as content is content wise, and it's helpful, so that people like it, and that's why they come, and that's why they join the podcast and listen and share. So any thoughts?
I think we've covered so many topics now already.
I have one favorite topic that we're going to go through.
Okay.
It's about taking care of your health.
Yeah. Okay.
Why is it important for you?
Super important. Like, I mean, that's everything, right? I mean, health is the most important thing, I think. Like, and I feel a lot of people forget that. Like, they're so like success driven and money driven that they, eat shit. They don't move. They only work and do nothing else. And that's so bad for you. And like, you will feel bad inside. So health is super, super important. And for me, like, yes, I spend hours and hours in the studio or with a client or whatever, but I try to balance it off. It's all about balance in life, right? So I have to move. I have to eat healthy, or try to at least. Of course, an occasional cheat here and there is nice as well, but try to be healthy. So health is very, very important. Makes you feel better, and then I feel, again, like it's an upwards spiral. Like, you feel better in your body and about yourself. Your mind will get clearer, and then you will do better work as well and stuff, and you will be happier in life. Because ultimately, I mean, everyone wants to be happy in life. That's the ultimate goal.
It is.
Yeah. Like, even if someone, like, people who want to make a lot of money, often they want to make the money to be happy in life, even though that may not be solve the issue. But like, happiness is the most important thing in life, and health is a big factor in that, I think. So right now, actually, I'm fasting.
Fasting.
I didn't eat today.
Okay.
Yet.
Why are you fasting?
Health reasons mostly.
How often do you fast?
At least I would say in average once every 2 weeks or something. Just
One
a day
day.
of water fasting. Yeah.
Okay,
Like
water
36
fasting.
hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
36 hours.
Yeah. But just coffee.
How do you
and
feel?
tea and well, it's okay. Sometimes it depends how long you do it. Like if you do 2 or 3 days, it gets a bit harder because then the body changes. It gets into the ketosis.
Mhm.
So and then you get a little bit of brain fog and stuff. But the first day is usually okay. No problem. No.
All right. I don't fast. I just prefer to eat regularly, but mind the extra calories. And we have a saying here in Bulgaria: it's not about what you eat between Christmas and New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
It's about what you eat between New Year's Eve and Christmas.
Sure.
So
Very true.
you can always like overdo it on Christmas and spend time with your friends and family and eat whatever is there, like a lot of carbs. You know, in Bulgaria, I don't know. Did you have Christmas here?
Yeah, I actually did. Yeah.
Okay, because here we have this tradition. We are Eastern Orthodox. We had a lot of like we have pitka, which is like big bread and like all the beans and everything that's
Nice.
non meat on Christmas Eve, and then
True.
on the next day we go for like meat.
I was supposed to have it traditionally,
Yeah.
but then one of my friends got sick, and then we had to cancel the whole thing because everyone has to be cautious right now.
COVID,
So, yeah.
COVID times. What do you have any lessons from COVID? Something that you, by the way, last time that we had to air the episode, you said that you were not feeling well.
Yeah, I mean,
So we postponed it. This is something that I'm very appreciative, that I don't want to be pushy,
yeah,
and I don't want everything to happen right now.
yeah,
I want it to happen whenever it suits everyone.
yeah. I thought a few times already I had COVID, but I did the antibody test and it's negative. So
What negative? You mean antigenic
No,
test? That's
no
nothing.
antibodies. So
No, zero.
zero. So
Okay, I
never had it.
3.8
Oh, okay.
because my girlfriend had COVID in October, end of
Yeah.
October, and I spent 2 weeks with her. I didn't
You know-
get any symptoms,
Yeah.
but I probably like did it because 3.8 is something.
You know, like everyone around me had COVID here.
Yeah.
Everyone. So it's so surprising to me. Like I went to a nightclub in October.
Mhm.
I was standing at the table with friends,
Yeah.
and all the friends around me had corona.
Yeah.
Everyone, and they were like sick and like had fever,
Mhm,
and I had slight symptoms as well. So I self-isolated, but I didn't do a test back then. And then 2 months later, when the antibodies are at its highest, I did the antibody test. Negative.
Zero, yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it. Maybe I'm just lucky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe I'm just lucky too, but
Well, it's better. I wish I had antibodies.
Yeah.
Actually, it would be better.
I'm not sure. I'm at the moment. My logical process is thinking that, okay, if I didn't catch it from my girlfriend, that we were sleeping in the same fiance, sleeping in the same bed, living. We have a small apartment, 50 square meters.
Yeah.
So we ate at the same table, hugged. I slept in the same bed, watched movies when she was 2 weeks off of work. Nothing. I mean, for me, it's because I take care of myself. I have low stress.
Yeah.
I sleep, and you need to read How We Sleep. Why we sleep? You need to read it. And I take care. I take good care of my body.
Yeah.
I eat, sleep, stress
Rave
management,
and
and I have stopped raving.
yeah.
My last trance party was 31st of March 2017. It was Oren Nielsen. He was in Sofia.
Yeah.
And I remember I went backstage with him, talked to him. Yeah. Oren is amazing producer, amazing human being. I really love the opportunity to have met him personally. Thanks to V again. We met in
I was
Belgrade.
supposed to travel to Norway for collaboration with him.
All right.
In October, but had to cancel it due to Corona. Yeah.
Yeah. When you meet him next time, send him best regards from Georgi.
Yeah.
And because probably 10 years of my life, my phone was ringing with La Guitarra.
Yeah.
I'll probably put in right up there with Crash of
wow.
Above and Beyond.
Okay.
But Crash from Paul Van Dyk.
Yeah.
And I remember just before you came here in 2013 for A State of Trance, Paul Van Dyk was here in February. And I remember meeting him. I had a Paul Van Dyk t-shirt that I bought from Ministry of Sound. When I was living in the UK, I went to a party and I bought some merch. And I told him, listen, you're the reason that I'm listening to trance music.
No.
And my favorite track is Crush. And Paul van Dyk said, all right, I'll play it for you. So he played in Yalta. It was in Yalta. He played Crush. And it was amazing. It was like
Very
really,
cool.
I mean, you guys, DJs, are so like down to earth people. I've always thought like the musicians are very like arrogant and cocky and stay away from people. But as much as someone shows you that he's human and you don't act like arrogantly towards themselves, like, hey, I want a signature, or can you take a selfie with me? You be kind person to them, they'll be kind back to you.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
So taking care of your body is why I'm here as well. Because if I haven't taken care of my body, I wouldn't have had a nice career, wouldn't have had my girlfriend, my podcast. Everything is, for me, it's taking care of yourself and your health.
Yeah.
And
sure.
But it's not my call to make for every other person's problem about their health.
Also, I feel like, time is limited for every one of us,
It
right?
is.
So I want to make the most out of the time we have. So I want to still be fit when I'm old.
Yeah.
I still want to be able to do things and stuff. So
Mm.
how do you achieve that? By, taking care of your health now, not when it's too late. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, so guys, take care of your health, and otherwise you need to all the money that you have raised to take care of your health later on. It's totally up to you, but you can start with small steps like walks, and put some salads on your table instead of all the carbs or all the sweets. I hope that you've liked our episode every Tuesday in Bulgarian, unfortunately for now. If you've liked it, send me an email. You'll find my podcast. There will be info in the episode, in the description. Support Dennis, support your favorite artists, no matter the genre, no matter if they're trance DJs or house or techno or rapping. Every creator needs your support, especially right now when the events are so limited. And do you have any final words before my last question?
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Hope you got some valuable content from this. Hope you learned something as well from my experiences. So yeah, if you enjoyed it, just send me a message and give me some feedback. I would really appreciate that.
Awesome. So the last question of the episode is you being here in Bulgaria for almost a year now, like half a year, more than half a year. What would you say that we need to do to make Bulgaria like happier place?
A happier place.
Happier place, yeah.
Happier place.
So because you have this outside perspective coming in, and you can see you have a totally different viewpoint.
Yeah. So there are a few things, but I don't want to like offend anyone or
Yeah.
So first thing is
recommendations.
Yeah, like I feel like the first thing is I feel Bulgarians think of their own country too badly. Like they're always surprised. Oh, how is it that you came here to Bulgaria? Like as if Bulgaria didn't have anything to offer. So that's number one. I feel like appreciate what you have here. Like yeah, maybe you don't know the difference because you haven't traveled outside of Bulgaria or something. But like, let it be said, like Bulgaria is not such a bad place as you may think. Bulgaria is a great place in my opinion. So that's number one. And then number two is I feel how should I say that? Formulate it so that no one feels offended. Actually.
No. You're giving your viewpoint here.
Yeah.
It's not.
So
if someone is offended, it's because of their perception of the things, not the way that you meant it.
Yeah. So I've met a lot of great people here. Also a lot of great Bulgarian people. Some foreigners as well. So I feel the people I mostly connect with are people that are warm, like they're very welcoming and hospitable. So I feel sometimes Bulgarians, like some Bulgarians, forget about it. I had mostly great experiences, of course, but some people forget like a little bit about the emotions, and the experiences, and focus too much on monetary values. I feel that's the one thing I noticed in comparison to, let's say, Western European culture. That some people think, okay, now when I have this car, I'll be happy or I'll be the best, but so that people don't feel offended, like this is just my outside view, but I feel like that this will never give you happiness. Happiness has to come from inside. Nothing monetary or nothing outside will give you ever happiness. It always has to come from inside. So I feel some people could realize that a little bit more here, and that would be like, my tip, just focus a little bit about that.
Giving you a bit of a context here is probably because our parents and our grandparents didn't have enough in their lives. They didn't have any cars. They didn't have any opportunity to travel or have nice things. So, and the social media is not helping, because social media is showing you that your friends have the newest iPhone or newest phone in general and newest car, and you want to be like your friends. But the thing is that what you're trying to say, correct me if I'm wrong, is that your material belongings do not decide if you're a good person or a successful person at all.
And
happier person.
Exactly. It doesn't give you any happiness. Maybe short-term happiness, yes.
But it might be fulfillment. So you're like, okay, I made it. I'm very happy for my achievement, and then motivate yourself to get better in anything else. But it's not. The car that you drive should not say if you're a good or a bad person.
Exactly.
Totally agreed.
Awesome.
So guys, thank you very much for being with the Superhuman podcast. Another episode in English. I think that we haven't had one for the last year. Last one was Dr. David Rybak from the USA, a very nice and well-spoken clinical psychologist. We also had Gabriel Marangoni, who is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and Mario Tomic, who is an online fitness instructor. He is also Croatian, situated in Sofia. Very nice and very friendly person. I would definitely need to introduce you guys, because I think you can be very much of help to each other. So thank you very much for being here with us. The podcast comes every Tuesday on your favorite podcast platform and also on YouTube. If you have any Bulgarian friends that you want to share the episode with, go ahead, share the love and share the knowledge. Hopefully you get something out of it. And wishing you all to stay safe, be safe, and support one another, help each other out. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.